Hey, it's Brendan Payne with Century 21, and today I want to shed a little bit of light on what's probably happening now that your property is off the market. So if you have withdrawn your property from the MLS, or you've canceled the listing, or maybe the listing has expired because the time ran out on the original listing contract, then you no doubt have gotten a ton of phone calls and are going to probably continue to get phone calls for a few days. And I want to kind of explain what happens or what likely is happening in that situation, so you've got a little bit better understanding of kind of why that seems to happen when properties come off the market. When your property comes off, it hits something that's called the hot sheet in the MLS. So the MLS provides the hot sheet. It's kind of like a dashboard for agents to be able to see any new activity for the day. So that would be any new listings, listings that sold, listings that went under contract, price reductions, and properties that come off the market. Now that hot sheet, that dashboard, can be very helpful for agents because they're looking through and they can get to know the market. If they're newer, they can look and see what properties are new coming on the market for their buyers. But there's also information that shows the properties that came off the market. Now, you may be getting calls from somebody who is looking at the property and says, wow, it didn't sell. I actually have somebody looking in that area, and they might be a good candidate to bring a buyer. But the vast majority of calls that you're getting are going to be from agents that are inquiring about relisting the property. Now, in many cases, the agent's doing some homework and they're only calling the properties maybe that they really feel they've got a good, viable buyer for. But in a lot of cases, they're going to be calling just through every single one of them. It's kind of a numbers game. So this is nothing new in the business. This has been going on for 40 years in the business. But for the consumer, one of the reasons that it's gotten a little bit more maybe annoying and you're getting more calls is because technology has allowed it to become very, very easy for agents to be able to do this process. So I want to walk through so you know kind of what happens when the property comes off the market. The agent can go in and look in the tax records, which is public record, and find out who the owner is. And then once they've got the ownership, there's no shortage of information in systems online that will pull up ownership information based on your name, based on your address where you live, the tax record address. There's a lot of data that's out there, and it's also public record. Some of them you have to pay a fee for, and some of them you don't. Once they have the contact information, including a lot of times contact information that is on the do not call registry, then they've got a way to get in contact with you. Now, in that case, that was 5-10 years ago, you had to do all that manually. Now you can, as an agent, just simply sign up for a service, and every morning when you come in, you can have that day's expireds and withdrawn listings delivered to you, and you can go through and call them on whatever time that you want to. And in fact, I've heard owners tell me that they get calls from morning all day all the way into the evening. So it's important to understand where they're coming from and what that process is, and the best way to avoid continuing to get those calls, one is to, when you list the property, get it with the right agent that gets it sold so it doesn't come off the market. Two, be very aware in this process that some agents it is just a numbers game. They may not even know the property that they're calling on, they're just dialing a number. And so when you're getting those calls and you are still selling the property, do your due diligence and make sure that you do some research on who you are interviewing in their track record, so that you don't just get it relisted with someone who might not be able to service you the second time, and now it comes off again. Because if it comes off again, not only does that mean that you failed to sell again, but it also means that now you have to go through that process of getting all these phone calls and everything else. So hopefully that just gives you some insight into what's going on and why your phone is ringing off the hook now that the property's failed to sell. If I can get you any additional information on the property or anything else within the real estate business here in our market, please don't hesitate to give me a call, and I look forward to hearing from you in the future. And if I can help you out, let me know. Thanks a lot.